Welcome back to the channel, everybody. Thank you so much for joining me and allowing me to continue to be your daily advocate. If you're new here or you're not subscribed for any reason, please do me a huge favor and hit the subscribe button. Thank you to all of you who have been watching and following me for so long. It truly means a lot, and I'm glad that I can be this person.
The SEC has submitted 2 new legal filings. They sent one letter to Judge Netburn and one letter to Judge Torres. One of the things that they're seeking here, and I think it's the 11 billionth time that they've gone for this, and they've gotten approved pretty much every time, they want another delay in the case. They want yet another delay. But that's not even the lead here. There is actually bigger news. As annoying and irritating as that is, I could easily make that the thumbnail. I could put it up in the video title. It's a reasonable thing to be aware of, but there's actually much bigger news in these legal filings. Yeah, I'll tell you this right now here in the intro of the video. Attorney Jeremy Hogan has said, quote, "The SEC is 100% in the hurt locker now," end quote. And Attorney Deaton had also said something to that effect, using the term hurt locker very recently. And indeed, based on what we've seen from these 2 submissions to the 2 judges, things there's an indication here that things not maybe looking so hot for the SEC. And check this out too. This is perhaps the thing that's most notable in my humble opinion. Ripple wants the lawsuit to end. They want things to go to summary judgment, even without certainty surrounding the Hinman emails. And so as soon as I realized that, I was like, whoa. Wow. You don't even know exactly how this thing's going to pan out, and you're ready to just, like, at least set a date for this? It's kind of amazing here. Everything's actually looking rather fantastic, which is mostly how things have been ever since all this pre-trial stuff began well over a year ago. So I'm going to break it down for you, but before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a legal or financial background of any kind. I am not offering legal or financial advice, and you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything that I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. Here's the first document that was submitted to Judge Netburn. It's on your screen. I'm just going to read you what James Filan had to say about it. There were literally 2 sentences in this document, so you can read it yourself if you just want to pause, but here's how James Filan summarized this. The SEC has filed a letter stating that it does not seek to take additional discovery at this time, but both parties reserve their rights to take discovery limited to the disgorgement issue, if necessary, after liability is decided. And so this was a surprise to Attorney Jeremy Hogan. And just to be clear here, the fact discovery completed in the SEC versus Ripple case last year at some point, it was, it may have been like in the 3rd quarter. I can't remember exactly when it was, to be honest with you. But it was at some point in the latter half of 2021. So what they're talking about here, as far as discovery ending, they're referencing the individual defendants with Larson and Garlinghouse. And here's what Attorney Hogan had to say about this. He wrote, "Almost nothing would have surprised me more than this. And yes, this is a very good thing. The only remaining areas of delay are the appeal, i.e. the Hinman emails, and in general, just scheduling. SEC discovery is complete, and that's a big step forward." So yeah, so indeed, what we, and this is amazing because Judge Netburn has ruled on this twice now, on January 13th and again on April 11th. The SEC must give the 63 Hinman emails and 68 Ethereum Free Pass speech drafts to Ripple. They must submit that. That's part of the case. It's been ruled on. And so what we're waiting on at this point, and this is a key piece, as a friendly reminder, even though I'm sure the vast majority of you are aware, I just want to make sure because it's important to understanding the rest of this video. The SEC is not happy with this. There's probably some devastating news that would just completely wreck their case, but they've been fighting tooth and nail to not get these documents, not be forced to hand these documents over to Ripple. Now, they can appeal to Judge Torres, and everybody under the sun assumes that's going to happen, including me. But more importantly, the attorneys within our community, which, I mean, let's be real, they're the ones that have a better indication of what's likely with their, decades of legal background. And they do believe what's probable is that there is going to be an appeal by the SEC to Judge Torres saying, hey, look, you got to reconsider this. There's serious privilege concerns. All the documents here, they're under deliberative process privilege, DPP for short, and Ripple should not get them, because this looks like it's something that's going to ruin their case, and that's how big of a deal this is. Now, onto the next and more exciting document. Check this out. You're going to absolutely love this. I don't need to read much of this document, but I will read the very beginning, just because this is the part where they're talking about the SEC's telling Judge Torres now that they need more time to get stuff done. They need another delay. Dear Judge Torres, Plaintiff Security and Asset Exchange Commission respectfully requests an extension of the deadline to file an objection to Magistrate Judge Netburn's January 13th, 2022 opinion and order, and April 11th, 2022 opinion and order from April 25th, 2022, to 14 days from a ruling on the SEC's forthcoming application renewing its privilege assertions as to certain internal documents related to a specific given speech given by a former SEC official. So, of course, pretty clear referencing Hinman there. Pretty clear that they're going to be appealing to Judge Torres, and they need more time. Poor little SEC asshats, right? So look, the SEC tells Judge Torres that they actually spoke with the defendants, Ripple specifically, the company, and found, quote, that they do not object to proceeding to summary judgment without final resolution of their motion challenging certain of the SEC's privilege assertions, end quote. So based on what the SEC stated there, it seems that Ripple is not concerned about any additional attempts to redact information pertaining to the Hinman Ethereum Free Pass speech emails and speech drafts, which is interesting. Now, Attorney Filan said as much. Also, Attorey Hogan says this is a very good indication for Ripple, and I'll actually share both of their tweets with you now, and then I'm going to go on to the bigger and more interesting news. I'm going to break that down, but let me share with you what they both had to say. And shout out to Attorney Filan for sharing these documents. He's just been on the ball for pretty much the entirety of the time that the SEC versus Ripple case is going on. Every time a new legal brief drops, bam, he just blasts it out all up on the Twitters. He's the man. But anyway, here's what he had to say. The SEC has filed a request for an extension of time to file its objection to Magistrate Judge Netburn's ruling on the motion for reconsideration of the DPP ruling. The SEC is raising new privilege assertions. And then the next part, he said, is even more interesting. James Filan said, the SEC says that the defendants are prepared to proceed to summary judgment without a ruling on the Hinman emails and documents. And I'm going to circle back to that because I have a couple things to say, but I want to just cover what he has to say and what Attorney Jeremy Hogan has to say on this, which is as follows. Well, now we know for sure that the clarification part of Judge Netburn's ruling will not protect whatever the SEC is so concerned about. The SEC is 100% in the hurt locker now, and the only relief is to delay, which it sure is trying with absolutely no shame. Ain't that true? They should feel tremendous shame, but they absolutely have no shame. So when Attorney Hogan mentions the quote clarification part of Judge Netburn's ruling, end quote, he's talking about the April 11th, 2022 court order from her demanding yet again that the SEC produce the 63 Hinman emails and 68 drafts of the speech. Now, part of what was included in that ruling was that the SEC could make new privilege claims, but only within a very limited scope. Any new privilege claims would only apply to comments within these emails and documents that specifically referenced a deliberative process that was occurring separate from the discussion of William Hinman's speech. Meaning that the SEC would have to show that comments made about the speech directly related to a parallel deliberative process, not merely that a similar discussion happened to be taking place elsewhere within the SEC. So that's pretty strict. Now, thanks to the SEC filing this document, we now know that Ripple wants the case to move to summary judgment regardless of any new privilege claims the SEC might bring pertaining to the Hinman speech emails and drafts. Now, this surprised me at first, as my initial reaction was questioning why Ripple wouldn't care if the SEC seeks to redact portions of these emails and speech drafts, but that's actually not quite the right way to think about this upon further reflection and rereading and rereading and rereading. The reason Ripple is pushing for summary judgment is that they believe that by the time the date for summary judgment arrives, the fight over the Hinman emails will be over. So Ripple just wants a date for summary judgment to officially be on the calendar to get things moving along, even though there are things that need to be settled prior to that date, of course. And as a reminder, summary judgment is the end of the lawsuit. That's where the judge will unilaterally make a final judgment, and we learn whether Ripple wins or the SEC wins, along with all of the implications and fallout that will occur as a result. So it's a big deal, but there are reasons, as you can see here, that excuse me, sorry folks. And you can see there are reasons that the attorneys within our community, the XRP community, are very optimistic about the outcome as a result of this. The fact that Judge Knepper has ruled twice now that the SEC must hand these documents over, that's about as close to a nail in the coffin as you're going to get, which is speculation, admittedly. But what, Judge Torres is going to overrule that? Highly unlikely. Highly unlikely. So we'll see, but I don't think it's likely at all. Now, somebody from our community named Zach tagged Attorney Hogan on Twitter and was asking what he makes of that order, which I just shared with you. And there was a little bit of additional information that I thought I'd share with you, because Jeremy did respond and he wrote the following. Ripple wants this over, thinks it can win on the merits, and is willing to gamble that the Hinman email fight will be resolved by the time the case gets in front of Judge Torres for final judgment. Yeah, I'll tell you, if it isn't, then I don't think you're going to have a summary judgment anyway, so it seems to make sense to at least get it on the calendar, because all the SEC is doing, as you can see, is delay. They do not care. These are terrible monsters as far as I'm concerned. And then Stuart Alderati, who is Ripple's general counsel, meaning that he's their highest in-house legal guy. He's been an attorney for decades. He retweeted what attorney Filan shared, and Stuart Alderati wrote the following. Imagine if in civil enforcement cases, we also abided by the Brady Rule, which in criminal cases requires prosecutors to share all information in their possession that could help or even exonerate the defendants. At the very least, the SEC should heed the admonition of its own chair that firms should not use lengthy privilege reviews to delay responding to routine document requests. End quote. So I wasn't familiar with the Brady Rule. Again, not having a legal background, I'm sure the vast majority of you listening also have not heard of the Brady Rule, but that's interesting, that all information must be shared. How would that change this case? Because all the SEC is doing is hiding, and legally they can get away with that. And then it's delay. And what he was talking about here, Stuart Alderati, was this speech from SEC Supreme Leader and Dictator Kim Jong-Gensler. This is from November 4th. It was titled Prepared Remarks at the Securities Enforcement Forum. And I just want to read the quote because this is what he was referencing here. This is from Gary Gensler, running the SEC. He said, "First, I think we should focus on bringing matters to resolution swiftly. As the old legal saying goes, justice delayed is justice denied." Well, how about that? And what have we seen from the SEC asshats again and again and again? We've seen delay, and they don't care. These are evil people. They are not here looking out for you. They are not your friends. They are not your protectors. They're looking out for their own career interests. They don't care how many people they harm in the process of whatever the hell, achieving whatever it is that they want, whatever the hell that is, at any given moment of time. These are terrible people. Now, Attorney John Deaton retweeted that from Stuart Alderati, which I just shared, and he wrote the following. SEC enforcement lawyers are federal prosecutors charged with enforcing securities laws. An honorable prosecutor cares about truth and justice. If evidence hurts the defense, so be it.
So enjoy your day, everybody. I'm always here for you. Leave any comments or questions below, and be sure to subscribe. But thanks, everybody. I really appreciate you. Enjoy your day, and I always have your back. So thanks so much, everybody.